before the storefront opened, I operated out of the trunk, for lack of a better term, for 3 years.
Wow.
You know, and every day I woke up, I was like, I want to be better. What can I do to get better? What can I do to get better?
Pursuit of greatness, and we are here with we're gonna have another great episode today. I am here with the one and only. He is the owner and CEO of the Cure, Keith Tabron. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Ready to get started, you know.
Yeah,
ready
man.
to get started, man.
I appreciate you taking out your time, man. You have your busy schedule and doing this episode, man. I think it's gonna bring a lot of value to a lot of people. We're here at the Cure Cincinnati, right? And this location, I remember, what, a year ago, for real, right?
Not even, man.
Not even a year
We've
ago.
been open for 7 months.
Wow.
January 23rd was the grand opening.
That is amazing, man, because now y'all about to open a second location.
Second location in Columbus.
In Columbus.
Yep.
Already. I mean, it's been less than a year and you're already about to open up your second location, which is, I mean, that's growth.
Yeah. We've, I mean, ever since we opened, we hit the ground sprinting. We brought a level of quality that the city has never seen before, you know, and basically just presented it to the people on a silver platter. You know, a lot of stores, they don't pay attention to that detail. They're more worried about the money that they count up at the end of the day. Where my focus was more about the customer experience.
Right.
So that's why when the clients come in here, they love it. They love the atmosphere. They love the vibe. And yeah, that intel, you know, brings more dollars. It really does. You know? Value. Exactly.
So talk about the name, The Cure, right? Why that name?
The Cure kind of just came from, you know, what I was kind of touching on there. In my opinion, a lot of the resale shops, not really the retail shops, because there's a difference. Like, we're a resale, so we get them from the retail shops, such as the Foot Lockers, Champs, Finish Lines, and stuff like that, at box price. But we specialize in getting mass amounts. So where the average guy is getting 1 or 2, we're going in and getting 50, 60 pairs, you know, and then we bring them back to the shop and resell them at the inflated price. You know what I mean? And it's justified due to supply and demand. These are all limited edition releases, all you know, sellout releases. So once they sell out of the Foot Lockers and Champs, the only place to get them is stores like ours. Right. So I just thought that there was a void in the game. It lacked quality, it lacked pizzazz, and that silver platter effect, you know what I mean? So when I came into the game and wanted to open my own shop, I wanted to be the cure for that void, you know what I mean? And kind of just bring what I deem as, you know, true value and true quality to the customer, you know, experience. So that's kind of where the name came from.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Okay, let's go back though. Let's go back to before you were an owner. You were working at, what was it, Champs?
At Champs.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that whole process and, you know, that stage of the whole journey of where you're at right now.
So with Champs, I liked, you know, I've always been into shoes. I've always been into sales. So that's why, you know, they recognized that and they saw, you know, qualities in me of a manager. So I actually, where you would have to normally work up the chain, I was hired on immediately as a manager. You know what I mean? Actually, the assistant store manager. So I was the number 2. Whenever his name was Tyson, the general manager that I worked under. Whenever he wasn't there, I was the boss. So it kind of, I used that as a training ground to kind of, you know, learn how to operate at a high capacity. Like, that location was actually a $2.5 million store. Wow. So we saw a lot of business, like weekends, releases, like it was a madhouse, you know, and it kind of showed me how to delegate tasks, how to make the day more efficient, how to, you know, just operate a shoe store, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just used that as a training ground, and, you know, it kind of trickled down into my store here as far as our day-to-day operations, you know, how I put my team members in, you know, positions to succeed, you know, draw out their strengths and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it's really been a dream come true, man. Like, from there, and then, you know, having my own, and operating it exactly how I want to and doing exactly what I want to do. I mean, I couldn't ask to be in a better position, really.
Wow. So did you always know you wanted to, like, even when you were at Champs, were you like, okay, I'm gonna own my own?
Yeah. And, you know, Kyle, he can attest to that. You know, every day I would come in and I'm just drawing different ideas, different stuff from how they operate. And I'm like, ooh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do that in my store, you know. Right. And you know, I wasn't too vocal about it because they weren't, you know, they don't really like the whole resale vibe, especially when you're in a managerial position, you know, because it's kind of against their rules to resell stuff that you get from there. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do to succeed. You know what I mean? And I definitely appreciate all of the help that, you know, the team from Champs gave me, developing me, showing how to rebuttal. You know, you got the customer that is like, on the fence, I don't know if I want to buy today. I don't know if I want to, you know, give them that little bit of extra pressure, you know what I mean? So it kind of showed me how to close deals and just how to operate at that high capacity, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's why we've been so successful. You know, just it's really the team, you know, it really is the team and the training that I got from Champs.
And see, the thing that comes to my mind is a phrase that I like to say, have your head in the clouds or your head in the sky or whatever, but your feet on the ground.
Yes.
Right? So, you know, you knew, like, I want to be an owner one day, but a lot of times we get ahead of ourselves and we don't want to do, okay, this step, you got to learn this, you got to learn that, the operations, the small stuff, right? So that then when you do become an owner, you know how to handle it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you know how to do, like you said, the inventory, or how to talk to a customer, or how to build a team and everything. You know what I mean? All the small stuff. It's like having a vision, thinking 10 steps ahead, but being able to come back to step one, like, okay, let me go here. Even though I had this vision, let me start here and be able to, and I feel like a lot of times, even with myself, that's where I go wrong a lot of times. I have these big ideas, but I'm like, okay, what's step one now?
Right. And just, you know, it's all about levels. It really is. And starting at that bottom level, and that's kind of where I saw, and it comes from being a military kid, you know. So I was raised on details. You know, I would get in trouble. I would get a spanking, you know, if I didn't fold my clothes a certain way, or just even trivial things like, you know, when you brush your teeth, the suds that you leave, like making sure everything was tidy. My bed was made in a certain way, folded, you know. So I came up off of detail. So when I opened up my shop, you know, I paid attention to every single detail. And that's where a lot of people that are in this business fail. They don't pay attention to the details. They're so money focused, and the money wasn't really the thing for me. It was more about creating something that everybody in America, everybody in the world that's in this lane would mess with. You know what I mean? I wanted to create something that I could, you know, not only open in Cincinnati, but also open in Columbus, also open in Cleveland, also open in Miami, LA, Seattle. You know, I could take to London, you know what I mean? And these are just all cities that we are going to eventually hit. And, you know, it starts with the Ohio stores. So the Columbus location opens in October, maybe early November, worst case scenario. It is a new development. So it's kind of not too much in our control, you know, because they could hit a hiccup right now and put the whole development back a month, you know. But what they've been telling us and everything like that, it'll be done in 45 days. So from there, I'll get the keys. We'll start the build out. So we're shooting for October, like I said, early November. And by next spring, actually in May, we're already looking at prospective locations for the Cleveland store. And after we get our 3 core, you know, Ohio stores operating and everything like that, Cincinnati being the first, from there, we want to expand to like the bigger cities. So the first big city we want to hit is Atlanta. You know, and that's really just going to take us to the the higher operating level, you know, to where we are a household name. Because, you know, to break into that market, you know, you really got to be something. You know, Atlanta's bougie. They really are. They're bougie. So if you can succeed in Atlanta, you can succeed anywhere. And my goal is just to get to the West Coast, man. Like the founding fathers, see the shining sea. You know? I want to be in every major city and, you know, just bring value, bring that level of quality to the game. Because, I mean, shops, it just lacks, man. It really does. It's lacking. So, yeah.
Man, I like how you were talking about like details and like it's details are everything. Greatness is in the details, right? Is what I heard somebody say before. And a lot of people, I feel like a lot of times we skip the small stuff because we just focus on the major things, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But you know, the greatness is in the details. And one of the small things, right, is paying attention, being able to talk with people, being able to communicate with people. And you know, I see with pictures with like Big Daddy Kane, right? I see you with Common. I was like, Common? When I see you with Common, I was like, that's it. He's done it. Checkmate. Like, as soon as I saw that, and then Ray Shrummer.
Right.
I seen Swae Lee in the T. The Cure T. I was like, man, they are doing it, right? So, but networking, right? The word networking is huge in any field that you're going to be in. Being able to communicate with people and talk with people, even if they have a celebrity status, being able to, you know, talk about the importance of networking, like when it comes to a business or whatever.
Yeah. So, another saying is your network is your net worth. You see what I mean? As long as you can build a team that is ever growing and make connections with key players that will bring value to you and help you to continue to grow, you'll always be successful. So, you know, just doing good business and quality business in Cincinnati got me in contact with a lot of key players that are mutuals of all of these big names. And they just, you know, they made the connections. Like with Common, he actually reached out to us. You know, he seen the page and saw some items that he liked and stuff like that, reached out, said that he would, you know, because these are multi-millionaires, got $1 million schedules and stuff like that, so they can't always come to you. So we went to Common. We met with him in his hotel room, you know. Our mutual friend was there. You know, we talked, he gave a few words of encouragement, and yeah, and then like with the Swae Lee thing, it's just all about the network, you know, just my team, you know, I love my team. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, you know, my business partner, Dylan, my creative director, Dom, and like I said, just the other people that are in the backgrounds. They don't even really want to be seen, you know, but they are more powerful than anything, you know what I mean? And if it wasn't for them, you know, we wouldn't have never made those connections, you know what I mean? So it's people see that layer of quality, they see the route that we're going, and we're young. You know, everybody wants to support a young black business, and that's really what it is, man. They just want to see us succeed. Like with Big Daddy Kane, I grew up listening to him. Like, that's my dad's favorite artist. So it's like just meeting him and just the whole conversation. I was kind of like in disbelief. You know, you don't really want to be a fan because they hate when you act like that. But it's kind of hard not to be. Like, look at Common. Look what he's done, not only for the rap game, but just like humanitarianism, like just what he does for speaking out and political stuff and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I'll remember that forever. You know what I mean? That'll just be synonymous with, you know, my many successes and just the more people to come, you know, like that. I'll always remember that. Like, and it really just, like I said, it's just the team. It's the networking and surrounding yourself with people that are also going in positive directions.
And you know, that's just amazing, man. It's amazing because like I said, it's seeing you out with all those people. It's less than a year. Like, I just want to stress that. I want people to understand that it's been less than a year, right? But it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has. You know, because before the storefront opened, I operated out of the trunk, for lack of a better term, for 3 years. You know, and every day I woke up, I was like, I want to be better. What can I do to get better? What can I do to get better? And it's all about presentation. And, you know, people would DM me and be like, hey, where's the store at? And I'm taking these pictures in my kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about how you present it. And I've always paid attention to that detail. And, you know, it just trickled into the store, you know. And that's what kind of made it this store a little bit easier for me because I was already very well known in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? So it was just, instead of meeting me in Speedway's parking lot like you normally do, just pull up to the actual storefront now. You know what I mean? I legitimized myself, and you know, it's been crazy. So when we break into these new markets, going back to the whole networking thing, it's just, you know, linking up with people that are household names in these cities, you know, having them bring value to that location in whatever city we're in, to kind of like break us into those different markets, you know what I mean?
Right. And so you really got to trust the process, man. Like you said, 3 years, you know, 3 years for the storefront, 3 years, you know, and people would say, oh, so, because I can say, oh, it's been less than a year. Well, not really, it's been about 4.
Yeah.
It's been about 4. There's no overnight success, man. You just got to step by step, like I said, man, have a big vision, but be willing to work every single day to see that vision coming to fruition.
Yeah.
You know, but let's talk about a little bit the importance of being ready to capitalize on an opportunity. Because like I said, I mean, you never know who's gonna walk in here. Right. So how do you stay ready? You never know who you're gonna run into.
Exactly.
Especially as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you never know when you could run into somebody like, this could be the encounter to change everything.
Yeah.
And you didn't know, you didn't wake up knowing that was gonna happen.
No.
So how do you make sure that you stay ready?
Really just always, they say if you sleep with your boots on, you don't have to get ready. You know what I mean? So we're just always ready. We're always, you'll never catch us off guard. You know what I mean? Stay with business cards, stay presentable. You know what I mean? Every time, like just throughout the day, and this comes not only from, you know, how I was raised in terms of like the details and stuff like that. Like when something is off or something is out of place, it bothers me. Like it literally weighs on the back of my neck, like someone's pinching my neck. Like I have to correct this, you know what I mean? Like I can't go to sleep if my house is messed up, you know, it's clothes and stuff like that out. Like it bothers me. I literally cannot go to sleep until I fold these clothes and put them up, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I treat the store. You know, I always make sure that every second of the day, everything is perfect. So, because you never know, it could be someone's first time in here, just because it's busy or just because you're having a bad day or, you know, whatever the case may be, they shouldn't be subjected to imperfections. You see what I mean? Yeah. They should come in and know that the Cure is always going to be perfect. All of our shoes are always in the perfect, you know, place and stuff like that. So, I mean, it really just comes from, you know, never wanting to disappoint. I hate to disappoint. I hate to tell a client that, I'm sorry, man, we failed you. We can't get a shoe for you, or, you know, just, I can't come through for somebody. I absolutely hate that, not being able to come through for my team. I want to always deliver on everything that I said I've always, you know, could deliver on, you know what I mean? So it comes from not wanting to disappoint, you know, and just, you know, staying ready. Stay with the business cards, stay ready to talk about the brand, the next move. People love to talk business, you know what I mean? And you never know who you could be talking to, so, or what they do and stuff like that.
And who they know.
And who they know, exactly. So you always have to be ready. You always have to be on your toes and just stay on guard, you know?
And that's huge, man. That's huge, because I heard Eric Thomas, the motivational speaker, he says, honor your craft. Yeah. And while you were just talking, that's what came to my mind, because you're like, I don't want to disappoint. You know, I want to be able to deliver. Yeah. You know, I want to have everything organized. I don't want them to suffer from imperfections and stuff like that. That's honoring your craft. You know, whatever you do, whatever your thing is, you got to honor your craft, man. You've got to be willing to focus on the details. You've got to be, you got to have this feeling of, I don't want to let nobody down. Right. You know, I want to be able to deliver. That's honoring your craft, man. A lot of times we're lazy with what we do, right? We're dishonoring the craft.
Yeah, it
we're
shows.
Taking stuff for granted.
Because every day is a blessing, man. Like, you really just gotta, excuse me, you gotta look at the position that you're in. You know, I've kind of like grown to be a key player in the city. You know, like if I were to say for instance, just tweet out and say, or make a video, be like, hey, it's free Yeezy on the doorstep of the Cure. Like there will literally be car wrecks all out front, 200 people running up, sprinting, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so when you possess that power or can be able to do that, you can't take it for granted. The fact that I can pay my own bills by working for myself, that I can pay my team's bills because they're on the team, you know what I mean? And be able to take care of employees. There's a lot of businesses that, you know, they operate for 5 years and it's just the ownership. You know, they can't afford to hire employees. They can't afford to do different things that we have been able to afford and do in such a short amount of time. You know what I mean? Like we're expanding. We got to bring on new managers, new assistant managers, new, you know, just lower level employees, whatever you want to call them. I mean, so just the expansion is just like, I don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? Because it could be taken from, we don't have the money that Foot Locker has, or can operate how they operate, and just kind of get lazy and stuff like that. Like every day we have to wake up and grind. We got to wake up and get it, because we could be out of business tomorrow. You know what I mean? We're not nationwide with 1,000 locations and can get lazy. You know what I mean? So I really don't take that for granted. I wake up every morning, what's the game plan? How can we expand the brand today? What can we do differently? How can we improve upon what we've already improved upon? You know what I mean? Because I mean, you can never be too good. Everybody has to practice, you know? Absolutely. Regardless of what Allen Iverson says, everybody has to practice.
Everybody got to practice,
you know what I mean? Because when it's game time, it's game time. You know, so.
And there's no time to prepare when it's game time. Like the preparation got to take place before that.
Exactly.
You know, oh, it's time for the game. Hey, let me get an extra. They about to tip it off. Hey, ref, let me get an extra shot. Some more shots.
Yeah, my shoulder isn't quite right. You know what I mean? No.
They gonna look at you like they gonna throw the ball up. Like,
it's go time.
It's go time, man. You always
stretched.
Exactly.
Exactly. So
exactly, and you always have to be ready. You know, you got like shout out to Pat Coyne. I interviewed him, and he said my time card is my alarm clock.
Yeah.
So when I wake up, the alarm clock off, it's go time.
It's go time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my. I don't 24/7, 365. I'm thinking about it, or I'm studying it, or making a sale, or I'm training somebody, or whatever. Yeah. You know, I'm always ready to go, man. But okay. So I interviewed you about probably 7 months ago, right? What would you, in that time frame, in that 7 months, I'm sure you've learned a lot. Yeah. I'm sure you've experienced some things you didn't experience before. What's something that you would tell yourself 7 months ago?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Because I was new to this, like, you know, I've always been entrepreneurial minded, you know what I mean? But I'm 23, I have this new store, you know, I'm not wanting to fall on my face, not wanting to disappoint, not wanting all of the build out money and everything to go to waste. So there were times where I kind of impeded myself, because I was like, ooh, we're not ready for that, or ooh, that might not be a good idea, where it's just trial and error. Just do it. Just do it. If it doesn't work out, then you learned your lesson. But don't be afraid to collab with a certain person. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, like with the celebrities and stuff like that, you know. We've reached out to a couple of them. They've reached out to us, you know, as well. So, like before I was like, oh no, they wouldn't be, you know, you DM them or do whatever, they won't hit us back, you know, or no, they don't care. Like a couple of Bengals players that have come in here that didn't already know about the shop, you know, we just reached out to them, and before I was scared, but now it's just like, look what you've created. Who wouldn't want to come shop here? You know what I mean? If they're in this lane and they wear sneakers, why wouldn't they want to come and have a new place to shop? You know what I mean? They got the expendable income. So it's really just, I would have told myself not to be afraid to do anything. You know what I mean? Like we're working with different people on t-shirts and stuff like that, different artists, different graphic designers and stuff like that, wanting to change the domain name and wanting to, you know, just different stuff. Like I just wish that I had have been wanting to do this all from day one, and not just wanting to kind of like take it the slow and steady route, you know? Because I mean, I've always pushed the envelope and stuff like that, wanting to, you know, just go harder. But, you know, at the same time, I didn't want to, you know, mess up. You know, I didn't want to lose my store by, you know, just whatever, you know what I mean? So it's really just not being afraid to do anything. Take risks, you know? Don't be as careful. Just go for it, man. You know what I mean? Don't do anything crazy, of course, but just go for it. You know, don't be afraid to work with certain people. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. You know, the worst thing that they can say is no.
Absolutely.
You know, so yeah.
And see, that's one of the. I remember I had my basketball team write down their one little phrase that they would use as a model for themselves for the year, and the one I gave myself was go for it.
Go for it.
You know what I mean? Because fear will really hold you down.
It does.
Right?
And it's fake. That's what I've learned. Like, fear is so fake. It is all in your head. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Literally, you could do anything. Like, when people are scared, like, it was this one, I want to say this was a couple years ago, but either way, a car had, and don't ask me how this happened, but I guess it landed on this lady's son, and you know, he's under all this pressure because it was a crash. Right. And I really don't know how this kid ended up under this car. Right. But either way, he was up under the car getting crushed, about to die. And the mom is like, oh my God, she's freaking out. She's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And she was just like, I have to save my son. Literally, this woman, I think the news said she was like 130 pounds, something like that. Small woman, not a bodybuilding woman.
Right.
Lifted this car up off of her son. Like, I don't even think I could go lift a car up.
Right.
But when you have to do what you have to do, your body can push to levels that it's never been pushed to before. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she literally lifted the car up and got her son from up under this car. Like, and from that point, I was just like, wow, the body can really do anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I stopped being afraid. You know, I really did, you know. And
see, one of the phrases I used, or one of the like analogies is, don't wait for the dog to chase you. Yeah. Right. For example, you know, if you, I was, as a coach, I was telling my players, man, we were doing like suicides, I think. And I was like, you can go faster than that. You know what I mean? I used the phrase, don't wait for the dog to chase you. And I was like, so you think you're running your fastest right now. But if I got a pit bull, right, and I put it behind you, literally, and he chased you, you would go faster than what you ever realized you could go. Right. Because your mind is like, all right, we got to take it to a whole nother level. Yeah. And like you said, your body can do so much more. Like, your mind is such a powerful tool that you don't even realize your capabilities. Yeah. You don't realize your potential. A lot of times we don't realize how far we can really go, man. Yeah. And we limit ourselves.
Right. And that's really what it is. I mean, you can't be limited. You can never stop working, and just push, and make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, so I got two last questions, man. Two last questions. One of them is, what is your definition of greatness?
My definition of greatness is it's kind of like what Rick Ross said. I gave all my homies an occupation, you know, to be able to put my entire team on, where we can all pull up in Lambos and Ranges and let them be able to live out what their aspirations are. You know what I mean? To be able to put everybody in a position to succeed. That's my definition of greatness. Because the definition of a boss to me is being able to provide a way for your team to eat. And that's what I've always set out to do. And just get my whole team rich, man, you know, and be able to travel, be able to provide for our families, you know, and do what we really want to do.
Right.
You know.
Awesome, man. All right, last and final question, my favorite question. When it's all said and done, right, the Cure has been everywhere, right? Everything that you could ever think of that you wanted to happen, it happened, right? What do you want people to say Keith Tabron was?
You asked me this before, and it really hasn't changed, man. I was a warrior. I never stopped fighting. I never stopped doing what I wanted to do. Never stopped believing what I believed in, and that's just what I want to be known for. You know, I was always a fighter, and I never stopped. I never quit.
Right. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Keith, man, I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you guys go follow his journey. I'll make sure the links and all that, the social media, that all pops up and stuff like that. Go follow them. They're on an amazing journey. Make sure you go follow us too, Under Pressure TV. Go ahead and go to the website. We got some merch up. We got a lot of great things coming. So we appreciate you guys. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting, who's been watching the show, who's been reaching out. We definitely appreciate it, man. Keith Tabron, another great episode.
Yes,
Until
sir.
next time, go for it. Go for it.
From a place where the pain gon' show, from the block, watch your rose gon' grow. Put the show on the road, people doubted, so I'm kicking down the door. Oh no, I never sell my soul, gotta stick to the code. To the top, I ain't never coming down. Through the hurt, man, I still keep a smile. I'ma be here for a while, want the people around the world to hear the sound. Greatness, I ain't never stopping now, I ain't never stopping now. From a place where the pain gon' show, from the block, watch your rose gon' grow. Put the show on the